When I was starting out in the learning and development field, people would ask me what I do. My first answer would always be training. But I knew that wasn't the whole story. The more I learned about my job, the more I realized I was right. In this lesson, we'll define what learning and development is and what are the main responsibilities. It's easy to define roles we come across every day. A doctor heals, a lawyer gives legal counsel, a pilot flies planes. But L&D isn't as straightforward because when we do our job well, we can be practically invisible. So let's break it down then. The main function of learning and development is to impact the organizational and individual learning for the purpose of improving effectiveness and performance. Very simply put, L&D is responsible for any activities that would facilitate learning and, in particular, change the behaviors and attitudes, skills, knowledge, and understanding. This can happen on many different levels, from the entire organization down to a single department, a team, or even an individual. When we say learning, this can mean a number of things. From the trainings, which you're sure to be familiar with, to coaching and mentoring, creating personal development plans, supporting the performance and talent management efforts, to creating and curating learning content in the form of articles, blog posts, videos, e-learning courses, and many, many others. The purpose of L&D in a way informs what the main responsibilities are. We need to ensure the organization and the individuals within are learning. And this in itself raises three key questions. What do people need to learn? What's the best way for them to learn? And how will we know that they have learned it? In effect, these three questions are the defining milestones for any L&D department. It tells us that we need to analyze the learning needs of the organization, select the most appropriate learning methods, and then measure the impact of our activities on the performance of the learners. Here's a typical situation. At the beginning of the year, each business unit sets goals that are based on the strategic plans and vision for the company. For example, if the organization wants to deliver high-quality services, one of the goals could be to implement 3 quality control checks to ensure customer satisfaction scores of 85%. Now, we know that the role of L&D is to find out what are the learning needs for this business unit, select the most appropriate learning methods, and measure the impact from these activities. So how would you answer these 3 key questions? Let me know in the comments below. And there you have it, a clear definition of L&D and the main responsibilities. If you enjoy this, please like and subscribe for more content like this. See you next time!
Take a look at determining performance standards. After accountabilities and objectives have been determined, the next step is to define performance standards. These are yardsticks designed to help people understand to what extent the objective has been achieved. The standards provide raters with information about what to look for to determine the level of performance that has been achieved. Standards can refer to various aspects of a specific objective, including quality, quantity, and time. Each of these aspects can be considered a criterion to be used in judging the extent to which an objective has been achieved. How well has the objective been achieved? This can include usefulness, responsiveness, acceptance rate, error rate, and feedback from users or customers. How much has been produced, how many units, how often, and at what cost. For example, commission earnings, dollar volume of sales, and the number of new parents or creative, innovative inventions and projects. What's the timeline? For example, due dates, adherence to schedule, cycle times, and deadlines. Standards must include an action. the desired result, a due date, and some type of quality or quantity measure. Standards usually describe a fully satisfactory performance. As soon as a standard has been created, one can create standards that describe minimum performance and outstanding performance. In writing standards, consider the following characteristics that often determine their usefulness. Good standards are based on the job's key elements and tasks, not on individual traits or person to person comparisons. Good standards are observable and verifiable. They allow us to distinguish between different performance levels. A good standard should be concrete so that there is no dispute over whether or how well it was met. Good standards provide necessary information about performance in the most efficient way possible. Good standards are created by taking into account the cost, accuracy, and availability of the needed data. Good standards are about what's important and relevant to the purpose of the job, to the achievement of the organization's mission and objectives, and the user or recipient of the product or the service. Standards are possible to accomplish, but they require a stretch. Employees should be able to reach the standards within the specified time period. Information should be available on a regular basis to determine whether the employee has reached the standard, and if not, remedial action should be taken.